Yesterday, Bitcoin saw a huge flash crash to the $90,000 after reaching $104,000. And during this crash, we saw a lot of liquidations coming into the market. We saw more than $450 million of liquidations coming in. We can also see that some levels are getting respected, very beautiful. We can see that on the 4-hour time frame and also on the daily time frame. And in this video I'm going to have a look at a lot of interesting data for the Bitcoin and the Ethereum ETFs. We can also see a lot of interesting news coming into the market, so you don't want to miss anything on this video. I'm also going to have a look at the two altcoins Solana and Polkadot, but about that later in the video. So watch this video all the way to the end. Don't forget to slap up that like button because it will help this channel a lot. And let's dive right into the charts. If we zoom in on the 1-hour time frame, we can see that Bitcoin made a huge flash crash to the $90,000 and we came all the way back to the $104,000. So this is an insane price range for Bitcoin, of course. And we saw a huge dump of almost 13%. So this was having a lot of interesting liquidations into the markets. And as you can see, we can see more than $450 million of liquidations coming in. And this was all in the last 60 minutes of yesterday. So this is an insane amount, of course. And a huge volume spiked. And this is exactly what we want to see in this huge bull market. And a lot of liquidations coming into the market, but also a lot of interesting levels are getting respected. For instance, if we have a look on the 4-hour time frame, I was discussing this pattern with you in the last weeks. We saw a lot of interesting resisting on the top side, and also on the lower side we saw support coming into the market. We broke out bullish. We're now seeing a huge flash crash, but now we can also see that this huge resistance area is getting turned into support. So from this area you could have entered the market for Bitcoin, and now we can see a little bit of a separation already from this level. So this support is holding strong for now. So let's see what the rest of the week can bring us for Bitcoin. And yesterday the Bitcoin ETFs had another very bullish day. We saw a total inflow of $766.7 million of total. So this is insane, of course, and this was all because BlackRock was buying like crazy and they bought for more than $770 million. And we can also see that BlackRock is coming to a total cumulative inflow of $34 billion. So this is insane, of course. And we can also see that Grayscale was selling a little bit of Bitcoin yesterday. So for overall, we are now seeing this spike to the top side again. And this is exactly what we want to see for the Bitcoin ETFs. And this is only pushing the price of Bitcoin even more. And if we then have a look at the Ethereum ETFs, we can also see yesterday was one of the most bullish days ever for the Ethereum ETFs. We saw a total inflow of $428.5 million. And this was all because BlackRock and Fidelity were buying like crazy. And in total, we are now coming above the $1 billion of total cumulative inflow for the Ethereum ETF. So this is insane. And this is exactly what we want to see. So let's see if we can continue the bullish momentum for the Ethereum ETFs. And if we have a look at the 4-hour time frame for Bitcoin, we can also see that this huge resistance area is getting respected, and we're getting now seeing a retest of the resistance area to turn it into support. And we're seeing a little bit of a separation already, so this is a beautiful bounce. But also we can see this previous resistance was getting turned into support, and every time we touched this level, we saw a beautiful bounce to the top side. So this was also a very interesting level to take in your trade for Bitcoin, and that's exactly what I did. And every time we touch this green box of accumulation, I've been buying more Bitcoin because this previous resistance is getting turned into support nicely. So from this level, we are now up for a lot of interesting gains. And from my entry, I'm already up for more than 6%. So congratulations if you took this trade together with me. And zooming out to the daily time frame, we can see that Bitcoin is in this huge parabolic uptrend, and we can see this parabolic uptrend is getting respected carefully. We can now see that we're coming to this huge support area here, and this is looking very bullish. So let's see if Bitcoin can continue the bullish uptrend and see a spike to the top side again. So every time we came to this huge support area, we saw a spike to the top side. So let's see if Bitcoin can just continue the streak and create another parabolic uptrend in the coming days. And yesterday, when Bitcoin reached $100,000, we had Donald Trump congratulating the Bitcoin holders on the surpassing the $100,000. So he said that congratulations Bitcoiners, $100,000, you're welcome. Together we will make America great again. And of course, I think this is very bullish because a lot of retail will see this message and they will just be interested in Bitcoin. And this will bring a lot of new money into the market. And we also have Standard Chartered saying that Bitcoin will double in 2025 and we will reach $200,000 in 2025. So this is an insane target, of course. And a lot of banks are now interested in Bitcoin. And 4 years ago, they were just hating Bitcoin, but they are now joining the Bitcoin community. So this is very beautiful to see. And let's see if we can reach the $200,000 in 2025. And if we look at this daily chart for Bitcoin with this beautiful uptrend, we can see higher highs and higher lows every time when we touch these levels. And we can now see that Bitcoin created this higher high. We can also see that this resistance was getting turned into support. And yesterday we saw a huge flash crash to this previous resistance that was being turned into support. And we saw a beautiful bounce to this level. So let's see if this is the new higher low for Bitcoin, and from there we could potentially see a new higher high, and that of course will be very bullish. So let's see if Bitcoin just can continue the bullish uptrend, and when the trend is up, you would just want to see a continuation of the trend, because the trend is your friend until it ends. And zooming all the way out to the weekly time frame, we can see this beautiful bull flag is unfolding. We saw in the last months a huge bull flag unfolding, and as I was saying, every time we touch this lower side on the support of the bull flag, I was buying more Bitcoin, and I hope you did as well. Because after that we saw a beautiful breakout, we saw a retest of the previous resistance area to turn it into support, and from there we saw a beautiful parabolic uptrend and a huge separation of this huge support area. So now we are seeing a lot of green candles, and of course we are seeing a little bit of a resistance coming into the market as we can see here. So this could also mean that we're going to create a little bit of a correction here, but of course we want to see that pump to the top side and that we're going to see higher levels for Bitcoin. And the breakout target of this bull flag formation hasn't been reached, because the breakout target was around $110,000, and that will be around this level. So there's still a little bit of room to grow for Bitcoin. So let's see if we can reach the breakout target of this bull flag formation in the coming weeks. And of course El Salvador is very known because they buy a lot of Bitcoin every day. And El Salvador is now in total profit of 333 million in profit. So this is insane, of course. And currently they're holding for more than $600 million in Bitcoin. So I think this is very strategic plan for El Salvador. And I think they will just be a very good country in the coming years. So for instance, if a lot of other countries are going to follow their example, we will see a lot of countries going to buy Bitcoin. And this will pump up the price for Bitcoin even more. And the first interesting altcoin I want to have a look at is Solana. We can see that Solana was in this huge consolidation formation for the last months. We saw multiple touch points on the top side as resistance and also on the lower side as support. Finally we broke out bullish, and then we created a new all-time high for Solana. And if we zoom out a little bit on the weekly time frame, we can see that we reached the previous all-time high and we saw a little bit of a higher all-time high. So of course there's a lot of resistance coming into the market at this level, as we can see here. And also there's now a little bit of a correction happening. So this rejection could bring us all the way back down to previous resistance area to turn it into support. And if Solana is coming back to this level, I'm very much interested in buying more Solana, because I think from there this resistance area is going to be turned into support, and this could be a very good entry for Solana. So if we're going to come back to this level, I will put my limit orders here, and then we can reach for a new all-time high. And the next altcoin I want to have a look at is Polkadot. Polkadot has been in this huge decline for the last months, but finally we saw a beautiful break to the top side, and we now see this exponential move to the top side, which is very beautiful to see. Of course, there are a lot of interesting resistance areas coming into play, and we broke several resistance lines. So this resistance line has to be painted green because it's now being turned into support. And this is looking very bullish, because after this bullish break, we saw a retest of the resistance as support. And then we saw a beautiful pump to the top side. And now we're coming back to this huge resistance area on the horizontal time frame. So this resistance level at the $11.5 is now the resistance to break for Polkadot. So we could either see a break from this level, or we could see a rejection from this level, and that we have to aim for lower targets. But if we have a look at the weekly time frame, we can see that if Polkadot is going to break through this huge resistance area, the way is free to this next big resistance area, and that will be around this level, and that will be around the $17. So we are now at the $10.5. So if we're going to see a break of this huge resistance area, then we could see a huge pump to this next resistance level. And let me know in the comments if you hold Polkadot in your portfolio, and what your thoughts about Polkadot in the future are. So this was it for today. Please leave a like if you think this video was useful. Don't forget to follow me on my other socials, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.